Seems like every day someone else is bragging about their latest score from Marketplace or their local thrift store. I've been on the hunt to find an equally good deal. My persistence has finally paid off with a gem that ranks at the top. The best place for secondhand items in my area is Facebook Marketplace. I started using search terms like office chair, desk chair, and Steelcase with a 90-mile radius. You can set alerts, but Facebook also sends you updates for your recent searches. The crazy good deals happen when sellers don't know what they have. Now, I found this exact situation with someone selling an office chair for just $25. The description mentioned adjustable height, lumbar support, and that it was on wheels. Now, you guessed it, it was a Steelcase Amiya chair. To see which chair you should be out there searching for, check out our office chair buying guide. The link is in the description. Now, going back to this Marketplace listing, the description was very little to go off of. For $25, I didn't want to waste a lot of time and potentially lose this opportunity by drilling the seller with tons of questions. So I quickly just set up a time to pick it up. When I got to the house, it was a bit of a sketchy situation.
All right, I made it to the house here. A lot of stuff going on, but I do see the chair out there among other things. So let's go see what it looks like.
It's not like I felt unsafe or anything like that, but this is not the experience Steelcase envisions for you to receive your high-end office chair. It was sitting outside with a small toolbox for me to put my cash into. I quickly checked over the chair for all the major functions, making sure there wasn't anything critically wrong or needing expensive replacement. Honestly, for this price, I probably would have taken it either way. I just wanted to grab it and get out of there. Now, full disclosure, I stupidly didn't bring the correct cash, so I actually had to pay $30. I had no issue fitting the chair into the back of my Ford Edge. Now, a sedan might be a little more tricky, so I'd consider that when heading over to pick up a chair. I got the Amiya back to the studio, and it was time to give it a full once-over.
It's definitely dirty. So the good thing is, even though it does seem dirty up here especially, and some hair and stuff on the seat, I don't see anywhere on the entire chair that it's like the snags or like that there's really excessive wear on the fabric. So some problems right away. You can see that. This is not supposed to happen. Considering the rest of the chair, the arm pads look a little more worn. Number one thing, seat height. Expensive thing to fix if it's not working. Seat slider, no problems there. Keep it upright, flick it, and then, yeah, it's definitely working. Slides. It's about normal. Moving up and down the back. It's definitely working fine.
Clearly the chair needed some major cleanup, and with a couple issues to resolve, I decided to take it over to Derek at our refurbishing shop for some advice.
So I thought, I'm not a pro. I've done a couple of these where I've kind of fixed up chairs I found and cleaned or whatever, but I have access to the actual professionals. So let's see, what do you think about this one?
How much did you pay for this bad boy, might I ask?
$25.
Shut up. It looks a little rough up here, but they usually do. Like, this is a newer Amiya.
The biggest problem is, maybe you already saw this.
Yeah.
It's got that wobble, which, again, I was like, I'm sure I can fix this, but...
pretty easy fix.
Yeah,
I mean, we can throw it up there if you want to throw it up there and take a look at it. Yeah, so there's some bolts.
Yeah. I was going to offer to help. I didn't want to insult your muscles there.
I can't have, yeah. So these bolts sometimes will come loose, and I mean, usually you just have to tighten them up. Like, you can see how much I can get out of that one by itself, and I bet you this will, these are pretty loose.
Well, you can probably already tell that,
Yeah, so I mean, that's all it was. Yeah, they're just loose.
You can see it looks really almost new down here. It's just the fabric was kind of dirty.
This shroud, I mean, usually this gets chewed up when the chairs are kind of in rougher shape. It looks brand new.
Any tips on these casters, or is that kind of just garbage?
I mean, you can try to attack them. If I would say anything, it's similar to like getting hair off your vacuum. Like if you got to clean your vacuum brush, it's similar. There's no real easy way to do it. Best option, of course, just replace them. You could buy rollerblade casters from VTOD.
Yeah, well, that's a good option. Suggestions. So I know you guys use a little more complicated stuff. You've tested a ton of stuff in the shop.
Yeah.
Something I can recommend to just buy in a regular store.
I mean, most people have like a spot cleaner cleaner at home, like a
Okay.
carpet cleaner, that would work. If you don't, there's plenty of upholstery cleaners you can get at any of your hardware stores, or
Sure. Something
You know,
that pushes the water and sucks it back out.
Something that's
yeah.
cleaner, not too like crazy and intrusive. You don't want something that's going to be like crazy chemicals and all that. Anything that is on the plastic, I mean, you can use, like we use a degreaser, but just some kind of common degreaser that you would spray on and just wipe off any of the stuff that's on here.
The BTOD shop truly does a professional job bringing used chairs back to almost like new condition. You can see a full video of this process linked in the description. With Derek's help and advice, I was ready to get back to the studio to get the dirty part done. I recommend starting with the upholstery and then finishing with the frame. Using a Woolite upholstery cleaner I bought locally, I went to work getting the stains out of the seat and the backrest. I was more concerned with cleanliness than I was with chemical odors, so I applied the cleaner liberally. The scrubby end on the can was also great to work the foam into the upholstery without it being abrasive and damaging the fabric. After applying the foam and lots of scrubbing, I used a portable deep cleaning tool to push water into the fabric and pads. You can then suck the liquid back out. The results are very clear, or rather disgustingly dirty when you see what you pull out of the chair.
So this is what's in your chair. I wouldn't say this chair looked like overly disgusting. So seems gross, and it definitely is gross, but you kind of wonder, like, if you did your average office chair, what would you find?
I went over the chair several times to get as much out of the chair as possible. A cleaning tool like this is around $100 to $150. Personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting in a used fabric chair unless I was able to deep clean with something like a Bissell. For the remainder of the chair, I used a simple degreaser to wipe everything down. The plastic parts of the frame returned to an almost perfect shine with very few signs of wear. The arm pads, which initially looked a little worse for wear, came out very clean with only small marks remaining. You want to avoid using any harsh cleaners on the cylinder, as you'll remove any lubrication that's supposed to be there. I proceeded through cleaning the mech, adjustment handles, and all the other nooks and crannies, removing any signs of use. I ended up removing a small pad that was on the armrest, as it was hindering rather than helping the armrest move smoothly up and down. Seeing how much hair and gross stuff was inside the casters, I didn't want to spend time cleaning them out. Following Derek's suggestion, I went with rollerblade wheels to replace the hard floor casters. These can be purchased at BTOD, adding a cool look and even smoother rolling ability to the chair. I left the chair to dry overnight before sitting in it again. It's also hard to see the results until it's dry. The final product was really quite impressive. The dirty stains that were once very noticeable were virtually gone. With the backrest tightened up, all of the functionality was returned. This route is not going to be the best for everyone. Many won't want to do the work or have access to the tools to do it. And it could potentially take a long time and a bit of luck to find a bargain like I did. Finally, if the prospect of cleaning someone else's mess isn't for you, take a look at the BTOD process. Not only will you get a professionally refurbished chair inside and out, you'll get brand new fabric, arm pads, and casters. For 2.5% of the price, I think my score ranks close to the top of the best deals I've seen on Reddit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.